Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and this is Snap or Pass, where we look at the new cards coming to Marvel Snap each week. And sometimes you get a bonus video where we look in depth at cards that are not coming to the game. Yes, all of the egg is on my absolute clown face because Second Dinner said they were bringing Dum Dum Dugan to the game. They put it in their blog, had all the information about it, so we did a Snap or Pass, and they, I guess, changed their mind at some point because when High Voltage launched, we got Toxie Doxie instead. So this is a few days after High Voltage has started. Larger content creators have probably got their video out playing Toxie Doxie, so definitely check them out. Regis is usually quite quick at getting those videos out. One of the best creators. He is incredible, so yeah, probably go check out his video. I am going to try and get some footage with Toxie Doxie, however, because I'll be playing this deck, which is designed to generate Toxie Doxie. We're going to use like JTF to multiple trigger Maria Hill, and hopefully if you stay to the end of the video I'll actually have some footage of me playing Toxie Doxie. Imagine if I don't. It's very possible that I won't. Who could say? It'll be a fun little surprise for you. Anyway, let's talk about Toxie Doxie. You can use the chapters below to skip to a section you want. So she's in High Voltage, which is running right now, and she's available in that until the 24th, or I should say you have until the 24th in order to unlock her. Alongside her, there is this awesome Black Bolt variant. I think this is pretty comfortably the sickest Black Bolt variant they've ever done. Looks really awesome. Is it like an angel thing? Is that like based? That's probably like based on a famous piece of artwork, right? It's giving me, I don't know, either twinging something in my brain, or it just feels a bit angelic. If I can find the artwork it's based on, I'll put it on screen. If it isn't, and even if it's not even an angel thing, and I just think it looks like an angel. Again, I am the clown. Anyway, after High Voltage ends on the 24th of April, you will be able to buy Toxie Doxie in the token shop, 3,000 tokens, or she'll enter snap packs, seasonal snap packs actually. Right, let's talk about the card in general. She is going to fit into, I think, a buffs deck. We'll look at some decks later, obviously. Maybe a set power deck, that could be quite interesting with the likes of maybe US Agent to counter their high stuff, but maybe you've got Havoc in there, especially Havoc because you don't want to play Havoc early anyway, so it doesn't matter if he gets hit by Toxie Doxie. But other cards like Sage, Ironheart, these might all be great targets for Toxie Doxie. In fact, maybe, I didn't even think about this, but maybe like Toxie Doxie, Ironheart with Wong, cards that duplicate those on reveals, Odin, that could be quite cool. The Mergers deck, we'll definitely have a look at that later. Hand Dump or Miracle Dump, whatever you want to call it. This is, I think, possibly my favourite place for her. And shield decks as well. The reason that I think she might work well with shield decks is because if you're generating cards, especially one cost cards on turn 1, like Maria Hill, like Snowguard, you can play Toxie Doxie on 2 and your hand is full enough that you'll be pretty comfortable that you're going to have playable cards. So in total she has the potential value to be a 2/5, but with a very restrictive downside. Like, this downside is so crazy, but she can hit a good value. And there is a note that I'll come on to about Dum Dum Dugan later on, even though he's not coming to the game. It's just something that I want to clarify, okay? She hits 2 random cards, 1 by 1, which means presumably she won't hit the same card twice. Now, as at time of recording, I haven't played her yet. I'm very much hoping to have played her with that deck that I've created, but I can only go off my presumption so far. And yeah, you can maybe circumvent the downside with the likes of Jeff and War Machine. If you have War Machine down and you play Toxie Doxie on turn 5, you will be able to play the cards on the next turn, so that's cool. Or if you hit Jeff, you can just play Jeff out. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that'll be too good. We have got a deck, a lockdown deck later, which we will look at, but I'm not sure it's too crazy, but we'll see. You know, it's interesting. Jeff and War Machine, there's only so many cards that synergize with the unlocking of restrictions side of their powers, right? So it's always fun to talk about when we get new synergies for that. Pros, she is plus oh, we're doing a dance because I said the wrong thing. Fine. Pros, +2 power to a card can be incredibly impactful with the right synergies. Yeah, +2 on itself is good. +2 with the right synergies can be insane, because if you look at a card like Brood or Captain Carter, that becomes triplicated, doesn't it? So especially on Captain Carter, absolutely crazy, right? And there's only so many cards that do +2 instead of +1, right? Fastos, cards in your deck and it's a 50-50. Gwenpool, she's a later turn card. I guess Forge does it, right? So, but it's limited, right? And it's one of the more powerful on-reveal effects that's attached to a cheap card. The value is in the on-reveal, not in the power of the card itself. So basically, literally 100% of her value is in her on-reveal. You're not playing her for the 1 power, right? So that means it becomes an interesting thing to be able to manipulate. Grandmaster, Wong. These effects, which can double it, become even more powerful, and being able to duplicate even like a Misery, right, becomes much more potent, more powerful. You can almost think about the fact that Gwenpool, kind of one of the better cards in the game at the moment. She's a very well played card. A regularly played card is what I mean. And Toxie Doxie is kind of 2/3 of her ability, but for 1/3 of the cost. That's very interesting. She really does have high potential here. However, the cons. Do not underestimate the downside. It is insane. You need to be finding some way to circumvent this. You can't just be locked out of the game on turn 3. So either, when I say circumvent it, either you have plenty of cards in your hand to be able to play anyway, via shield or generation, or Jeff, or you're making up for that downside by the strength of the synergies, or even just a combination of all of those. There is a deck which has combinations or elements of all of those, and so I think that consistency might be really good. Theoretically, you can only play it on turns 2, 3, and 4. On turn 5, it's kind of too big of a gamble. What if you know what you want to play on the final turn? If you play Toxie Doxie on turn 5, you're literally going, well, I might not be able to play that now. You almost can't even do it. So she has kind of a limited window to be able to play her. And of course she has a low base power. That's not why you're playing her, but it is a con. Let's talk about locations. Castle Zemo is great because, as we said, all of the value to Toxie Doxie is tied up in her on reveal. So you just get rid of the 1 power in Castle Zemo. We love it. Carmartage, yes, it might lock out your entire hand. With Carmartage, I would imagine the second time it runs, now that again, that can hit the same cards, and very likely will. Or not very likely will, but somewhat likely that it will. Anyway, the downside to playing it is that it could literally lock you out of your turn 3. That being said, you've got +4 power potentially on a card to make up for it on turn 4, so I think we're alright. Gamma Lab, yeah, as we said, the power is locked up in the on reveal, so you're very happy to get that into there. Get her into there. Oh, I keep seeing her calling her it and that. She's a she, I think. Orcus Forge. Yes, you can get the power of the on reveal, hit those cards, and then guarantee that you've got something to play on turn 3 because you're going to have a Sentinel after she resolves. And Valhalla we potentially like because just duplicating the effects is strong. Yes, it might make your turn 5 difficult, but just as always, hopefully you've got other stuff to play. Bad. Mindscape, absolutely horrific. You're locked out of playing some cards, so you're slightly more likely to have not played as many cards, and then you're potentially giving them those buffs. Awful. And of course Nowhere just isn't going to trigger. Let's talk about the counters. Iceman is going to lock down your hand even further. So Toxie Doxie is making you unable to play a couple of cards. Iceman is making it more difficult for you to either play those cards or just to play other cards in general. Having restrictions on what you can play, that is a compounding effect, so you don't want that. Shadow King, of course, is going to be able to revert the buffs. That is, if you've got priority. Toxie Doxie is kind of a low tempo play, and you're kind of maybe not playing cards on turn 3 potentially, so you might not have priority. Cosmo can obviously stop her. Moon Knight can discard those beautiful buffs that you've put into your hand, and as can Black Bolt, which is interesting actually because Black Bolt is the variant alongside Toxie Doxie. Maybe they knew all along. Synergies though, I've put Hood, kind of my weakest synergy here. Yes, you generate an additional card, which helps for being able to play cards. But if it hits that demon, that's a 1/8. Pretty good. Mr. Sinister is going to duplicate the buffs, so that 2 onto Mr. Sinister actually become... No, wait, no, does he double the buffs? The +2 on Sinister instead becomes... Yeah, it does just double it, right? Yeah, it becomes plus... yeah, mass. Quick mass. Jeff, you're going to be able to play him out, that's cool. Makari, haven't spoken about Makari yet, but she's actually made it, somehow, miraculously. She has made it into every single deck that I've got for you today. So if you don't have her, I'm sorry about that. But yes, Makari, she's going to come down. She don't care about being played. She's coming down as a free 6 power. Cool, we're going to like that. Moon Girl, yes, copying those buffs. Again, another way to copy the buffs, and I think, well, Toxie Doxie, why Toxie Doxie is going to be particularly good in that sort of miracle dump style of deck. And War Machine. Play War Machine on turn 4, play Toxie on turn 5 alongside something else, even like a Grandmaster, right? Giving you +8 power in your hand. That could be really nice, especially if that is with like a dump style deck. Or Lockdown. Yeah, you get a couple of extra power on one of your 1-drops. You can play that into your stormed location, and you still got 5 energy and potentially extra power to play elsewhere. So it could be nice. There's definitely some nice stuff. Let's look at that nice stuff, guys. Let's look at those decks. First of all, we've got Miracle Doxie Dump. This is the hand dump style of deck. So we have got, obviously, the Toxie Doxie, which we're happy to play on turn 2. Actually, let's go turn by turn. Hopefully on turn 1, you're either playing Zabu or Sunspot. Turn 2, hopefully you're playing Toxie Doxie or Black Swan. Turn 3, either you're hopefully playing, again, Toxie Doxie or Black Swan, or you may have to float and hopefully you've got the Sunspot, or you get the Jeff down if you have to, blah, blah, blah. Then turn 4, you're either Moon Girling or Gwen Pooling. 2 then, and by the way, if you've got Jeff down, you're moving Jeff by this point, or you're snapping to get Hydra Bob to move. And then on turn 5, you're either skipping for She-Hulks if you've got She-Hulk. Have you Moon Girled by this point? My turn by turn explanation here has been shit. Either you've played Moon Girl and you've copied She-Hulk. If you've copied She-Hulk, you're skipping turn 5, okay? And you snap or you move Jeff to get the cheap Miles Morales, okay? This deck plays itself. It's not that hard, right? If you've got Moon Girl, you copy the big stuff in your hand. If you don't, then you just play out your cool stuff and you pray, basically. Actually, yeah, what do you do if you don't have Moon Girl? Yeah, you got to be smart. You got to be smart about it if you don't have Moon Girl, guys. You've got to have a mover to get the Miles Morales out. But, right, if you don't have Moon Girl, right, you've probably got She-Hulk and Miles. That's only 2 energy for 16 power. You just play the rest of your stuff. You might still be alright. Don't worry about it. Don't wobber. The next deck here is that Doxie Lockdown deck that we were talking about. So you try and lock down a location with the Storm. You play the War Machine so you can play anywhere. And maybe you've already played Toxie Doxie by this point. You might have a 22 power Infinite that you can play down if you've won the lockdown location. Or the other option is you play Ultron. The other option here is we've also got Negasonic, which hopefully will help us lock down another location. Hopefully Makari might help you to gain priority. And yeah, just could be fun. It just simply could be fun. We have also got Grandmaster and a couple of early on reveals in addition to the Toxie Doxie. We've got America Chavez and we've got Silver Sable, so we can still do stuff in a pinch. And again, hopefully Silver Sable might also help us gain priority there. Final deck for you is Savage Spydox. This is basically just a twist on, is it my favourite deck in the game? I mean, I do love Shield as well, but I adore this deck as well. It's got Scarlet Spider, we got Makari, Brood, Sinister, Lasher. If you've not played this style of deck, give it a go. I think it might really surprise you. Toxie Doxie just fits in here incredibly well. You've got a very low curve with this deck. Basically, I've just swapped out Zabu for Toxie Doxie, essentially. We've got such a low curve that generally we're not going to be too unconfident. Is that a word? Lacking in confidence that we're not going to be able to play something on turn 3. We've got Shores, we've got Broods, we've got Penny. In fact, Penny is good because Penny generates an extra card, which is good in the context of Toxie Doxie. It's good stuff, guys. If by this point you have not liked this video, please like it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And turn on notifications, that would be great. Star rating. So I think that overall, actually, I think we've done quite well here. I think Toxie Doxie is better than Dum Dum Dugan. Yes, theoretically, they're both 2 5s or potential 2 5s. And yes, Toxie Doxie has got a crazy downside, but I think that Toxie Doxie's synergies and potential for exploitation are much better than Dum Dum Dugan. Dum Dum Dugan is just less interesting, I think. So overall, I think she's a 3.5 star card. I think from a fun perspective, I've only given her 3. I think she will be fun. I have seen her animation. Her animation is freaking sick. My favourite colour is Toxic Chartreuse, and that is literally basically the colour of Toxie Doxie. So I like her from that perspective. However, I think it might be frustrating if she hits the cards that you literally want to play on turn 3. Especially in a buff deck, if she hits the cards that you don't want buffed and she hits the cards that you want to play, that's going to feel extra annoying. For the archetypes, I think she'll be a meaningful addition, so 3.5. And from a competitive standpoint, I think she'll do just fine. 3.5. So overall, I think she is a snap. In fact, with Dum Dum Dugan, who we're not getting now, but I said he was a snap in the context of him being the high voltage card, so you might as well get him. Also, there was a few comments left on that video saying you want to get him just so that he doesn't clog up your seasonal Series 4 snap packs or your Series 4 snap packs, and that's a great point as well. Same things with Toxie Doxie, but over and above, I just think she's actually a good card. I love buffs. It's one of my things, so maybe that's a bit biased towards me. A bit, which why I'm feeling biased. Maybe I'm biased, but that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Have we got like a colour? Can I do like a colour of Toxie Doxie? If I had a hammer. And yes, keep watching because hopefully I've put. Hang on, let me just get the Toxie Doxie colour on. Boom. Get a bit more green. There we go. Actually, it's coming out quite yellow on the camera. It needs to be a bit more green, doesn't it? Yeah. And it's even then it's basically invisible. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for that gameplay. Hopefully I did actually play Toxie Doxie. If I did, I probably would have teased it by now anyway. And I'll see you next time. Cheers. Yes! Yes! Oh, a little puff of green smoke. Oh, and then she's... Oh, look at her! She's squirting! She's a squirter! Oh my god! They're absolutely bathing!